Hey, Dr. Hines here. We're about to do a little bit of some what we call coffee cup calorimetry. We have this high-tech coffee cup over here. We spent a lot of money on this here just for y'all. Truthfully, styrofoam cups, especially like a double-walled styrofoam cup, works really well as insulators. Anyway, moving on. I'm basically just going to kind of go down the list of instructions right here. The very first thing that it says is that we've got a pair of thermometers, and we need to make sure that their temperature readings match each other. So I'm going to try my best here to kind of maybe put these side by side, and hopefully you can read them. And I mean, ultimately they should be reading the same thing, and I think it's plenty close enough. But you would always want to check that. You don't want one thermometer to be reading differently than another one. All right, so step number one's done. We've got a 250 milliliter beaker set up, and we're going to put some water in it, 50 milliliters of water, and we're just simply going to heat it up. And while it's heating, we can move on and do some other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit more than 50 milliliters of water, because I know when it's heating, I know it's probably going to be evaporating, steam's going to be coming off. And so if I give it a little bit more than 50 milliliters, I know that when I'm actually ready to use it, it probably will be a little closer to what I'm really desiring here. And I'm going to get me some water. One thing I've learned about the chem lab around here is usually when you turn on the faucet, a bunch of brown water stuff comes out. So I always make sure the system's flushed out. And now it looks like it's reasonably clean, good old Natchitoches tap water here. And I'm gonna put some in the graduated cylinder, a little extra than 50 milliliters. You can read what it says on there. And I'm just gonna put this in the beaker. We're gonna heat this up. Hopefully I'm not dripping water all over the place here. And man, you guys are just missing out on the experience of lighting a Bunsen burner. The students that are here at school, it's just so much fun to watch them jump as they light the Bunsen burner. Just really very entertaining. But anyway, so we're gonna light the Bunsen burner. I'm just gonna turn on the gas. Actually, I should have probably moved this out of the way here, but I've got it out of the way. Gas is turned on. Make sure I'm getting some spark. I got a nice, good quality flame there. Put it underneath. And this is just gonna simply heat the water up close to boiling. And it's gonna take a few minutes to do that. So while this is happening, let's move on to some other steps here. We're gonna move on to step 3 right here. And let's see what we've got. I've already talked about that we've got the 2 styrofoam cups. They're nested inside each other. We've got your top, we've got a thermometer in there. You'll see that we've got one labeled C. This is the cold water one. We've got one labeled H. That's going to be the hot water one. And so I need to make sure that I start off with this one right here. All right, so what do I need to do? It says make sure it's clean and dry. And then we're going to weigh the whole apparatus. Now, when they say the whole apparatus, it says the cup, the lid, and the thermometer. Notice that we're not weighing the beaker part. I look in here, it's clean, it's dry, no issue there. So I'm just gonna weigh this right. Okay, maybe it might help if we plug it in here. Lots of cords all over the place. Hopefully this is the right one. Fixing to find out. There we go. All right, so we're simply just gonna weigh this. We're gonna weigh it empty. All right, it looks like it's stable. All right, just putting it on here, and you're gonna need to record this, and we can tell you which data piece this belongs to. All right, so hopefully you've got some sort of number recorded for that. All right, so you look on your sheet right here. Where on this sheet does it tell you to record the mass of the empty calorimeter? And hopefully you'll notice that you've got that right there, M1. All right, so that's gonna go in that blank right there. All right, we've got it weighed. Let's go on to step 4. It says measure out 50 milliliters of tap water, put it in the calorimeter. So I'm just gonna grab some tap water just like I did before. Nothing really special about this. In this case, I'll probably go ahead and try to stick with the 50 milliliters. Whoops, is that 50 milliliters? All right, hopefully y'all been catching on here. Let's dump some of this out. All right, is this the correct amount in here? Yes, it's the correct amount, okay, very good. All right, we're just gonna simply add it to this. I mean, we know it's 50 milliliters, but we really need to precisely know what's in the cup. Because when we dump this in here, not all of it's gonna dump out of the graduated cylinder, so dump it in there, put the lid on here, and we're gonna weigh this again. I'm gonna make sure that this is zeroed. There you go, class is over with, time to go, all right. Anyway, so we're gonna tear the electronic balance so it's reading 0. We'll put our cup on here, and now you're gonna need to record this mass. So you got 2 numbers here, and you're gonna need to think. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to be able to tell us what is the mass of water in the calorimeter that we've got. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but we've got a mass recorded, and where on your data sheet are we gonna record this? Right here it says mass of calorimeter in cold water, M2. You can put it in that blank right there. All right, got step number 4. We've got it in there. Actually, I did this backwards. I think I did step number 5 first. So I'm gonna have to backtrack. I'm gonna have to go back to step number 4. Step number 4 says to record the temperature of the water that's in there. So it doesn't really matter what order you do it in, but you are going to need both. So hopefully you can see what the temperature, I'm gonna try to rotate this here so you can see a little bit of some increments there. All right, what is the temperature of the cold water? You're gonna record that. And then on your data sheet, let's see here, on your data sheet, let's see here. Temperature of cold water, there you go, right there. So you can put the temperature of the cold water right there. And so we've done step 4, we've done step number 5. We know the temperature of the cold water, we know the mass of the cold water. Let's move on to number 6. The water is hot. We're gonna try to get a low boil here. I can tell you that the water is just about hot enough, and we're gonna get to it in just a second.